In Domain 3, we will understand Azure Core Solutions and Azure Management Tools. In Domain 3, we will look at Azure Core Solutions and Management Tools. Under Azure Core Solutions, we will cover the following topics: Azure IoT, Azure Sphere, Azure Synapse Analytics, Azure HD Insight, Azure Databricks, Azure Machine Learning, Azure Cognitive Services, Azure Bot Services, Azure Serverless Computing, Azure DevOps, Azure GitHub, and finally, we will look at Azure Dev Test Labs. Internet of Things, which is also called as IoT. IoT is defined as connecting any devices to internet and other connected devices. IoT refers to a collection of all those devices that have the ability to connect to internet and collect and share data. Hence the name Internet of Things has been provided. So basically we have a device that collects data from its surroundings using sensors and actuators and sends this collected data to internet where the processing of data can happen. Some example of IoT are phone, laptop, watches, refrigerators, washing machines, cars, and homes. Here are some examples of IoT: smart home, medical and healthcare, transportations, building and home automation, manufacturing, maritime, infrastructure applications, energy management, environmental monitoring, and military applications. For all those things, we can use IoT. We'll start with smart home. While talking about IoT applications, smart home is one of the first thing that everyone talks about. The smart home IoT Connect appliances uses used at homes such as washing machines, coffee makers, microwave oven, security systems, and air conditioners. And even the lighting systems and door can also use IoT devices. You can control all the devices from your smartphone or your computer system. The appliances can also be automated to start and stop at specific times. When you are going back home in the evening, you can activate lights at home just as you get near to your house. You can also check if the door is locked or if the dishwasher is turned off right from the connected devices. IoT smart homes can help you save on electricity. Next, we will look at medical and healthcare. In medical and healthcare, IoT devices can be used to enable remote health monitoring and emergency notification systems. These health monitoring devices can range from blood pressures and heart rate monitors to advanced devices capable of monitoring specialized implants such as pacemakers, electronic wristband, or advanced hearing aids. Some hospitals have begun implementing smart beds that can be detect where they are occupied and when the patient is attempting to get up. It can also adjust itself to ensure appropriate pressure and support is applied to patient without the manual interaction of nurses. Specialized sensors can also be equipped with the living spaces to monitor health and general well-being of senior citizens. We're also ensuring proper treatment is being administered and assisting people regain mobility through therapy as well as these sensors create a network intelligent sensors that can be able to connect, process, transfers, and analyze valuable information in different environment, such as connecting in-home monitoring devices to hospital-based systems. You can also use IoT in transportations. In transportation, you can use IoT for smart traffic control, smart parking, electronic toll collection system, logistics, and fleet management, and also vehicle control, safety, road assistance. We can use IoT in building and home automations. IoT devices can be used to monitor and control the mechanical, electrical, electronic systems used in various types of buildings. Either it is a public building or private building or industrial institutions or residential building. Integration of internet with building energy management systems is in order to create energy efficient and IoT driven smart buildings. The possible means of real time monitoring for reduced energy consumption and monitoring occupants behaviors. The integration of smart devices in built environment and how they might be used in future applications. Next, we look of manufacturing. In manufacturing, also we can use IoT devices. The IoT can connect various manufacturing devices equipped with sensing, identifications, processing, communication, and networking capabilities. Network control and management of manufacturing equipment, asset and situation management, or manufacturing process control allows IoT to be used for industrial application and smart manufacturing. IoT devices can also be used in agriculture industries. In agriculture, there are numerous IoT applications in farming such as collecting data on temperature, rainfall, humidity, wind speed, pest infestation, and soil content. This data can be used to automate farming techniques, take informed decisions to improve quality and quantity, minimize risk and waste, and reduce effort required to manage crops. For example, farmers can now monitor soil temperature and moisture from far, and even apply IoT accurate data to precision fertilization programs. In maritime, IoT devices are in use monitoring environments and systems of boats and yachts. Many pleasure boats are left unattended for many days in summer and months in winter. So such devices can be monitored using IoT devices. Infrastructure applications. Infrastructure application is monitoring and controlling operation of sustainable urban and rural infrastructures like bridges, railway tracks, and offshore wind farms is like key application of IoT. IoT infrastructure can be used for monitoring any events of changes in structural conditions that compromise safety and increase risk. IoT can benefit the construction industries by cost saving time, like, better quality workday, paperless workflow, and increased productivity. In energy management, IoT can be used to place a significant number of energy consuming devices, example lamps, household appliances, motor pumps, etc. Already integrated internet connectivity which can allow them to communicate with utilities not only to balance power generation but also helps optimize energy consumption as a whole. In environmental monitoring, IoT devices can be used to monitor the application of IoT. Typically, use sensors to assist environmental protections by monitoring air and water quality, atmospheric oil soil conditions, and even include areas like monitoring the movement of wildlife and the habitat. Finally, we can use IoT in military applications. Internet, Internet of Things can be IoT can be used in military applications, technologies in military domain for purpose of surveillance, other combat related objectives. It is heavily influenced by the future prospect of warfare in an urban environment and involves use of sensors, vehicles, robots, human wearable biometrics, and other smart technologies that is relevant on the battlefield. Azure Internet of Things IoT. What is Azure IoT? The Azure IoT is a collection of Microsoft managed cloud services that can connect, monitor, and control billions of IoT devices. In simpler terms, an IoT solution is made up of one or more IoT devices that can communicate with one or more backend services hosted in the cloud. The IoT device is typically made up of a circuit board with sensors attached that uses Wi-Fi to connect to internet. The IoT devices sends telemetry from sensors to backend devices in the cloud. However, other types of communication are possible, such as backend services sends commands to your devices. Following are some examples of device to cloud and cloud to device communication. A mobile refrigeration truck sends temperature every 5 minutes to an IoT hub. The backend services sends a command to device to change the frequency at which it sends a telemetry to help to diagnose the problem. Other example of cloud to device and device to cloud communication is a device can send alerts based on the values read from its sensors. For example, a device monitoring a batch reactor in a chemical plant can send an alert when the temperature exceeds the certain value. Your devices sends information to display in dashboard for viewing by human operators. In this, for example, control room in a refinery may show temperature, pressure, and flow volumes in each pipe, enabling operator to monitor facility from a central dashboard. These are some examples of Azure IoT. Azure IoT Hub. The Azure IoT Hub is a managed service that is hosted in the cloud. The Azure IoT Hub acts as a central message hub for bidirectional communication between your IoT application and the devices it manages. You can use Azure IoT Hub to build IoT solutions with reliable and secure communication between billions of IoT devices and cloud hosted solutions backend. You can connect virtually to any devices to IoT Hub. IoT Hub supports communication from the devices to the cloud and from the cloud to the devices. Here is a real life application example solution where IoT Hub sends SMS alert once a motion sensor detects activity. When the sensor is triggered, a device communication with the hub, which in turn analyzes the messages, and finally the solution sends a SMS alert with information on the motion detection. Easiest way to think about IoT Hub is a gateway between IoT devices and the cloud. It is worth mentioning that you can integrate your Azure IoT solutions with many other Azure cloud services. We can integrate Azure IoT Hub with other Azure IoT services such as Azure Event Grid, Azure Logic Apps, Azure Machine Learning, and Azure Stream Analytics. In Azure Event Grid is used to enable the business to react quickly to critical events in reliable, scalable, and secure manner. We can also integrate Azure IoT Hub with Azure Logic Apps to automate the business process. We can also use Azure Machine Learning to add machine learning and AI models to your solutions. We can also integrate Azure IoT Hub with Azure Stream Analytics to run real-time analytic computations on the data streaming from your devices. Azure IoT Central. The Azure IoT Central is an IoT application platform that reduces the burden and cost of developing, managing, and maintaining enterprise-grade IoT solutions. Choosing to build with IoT Central gives you opportunity to focus on time, money, and energy on transforming your business with IoT data rather than just maintaining and updating a complex and continually evolving IoT infrastructure. The web user interface lets you monitor device conditions, create rules, and manages millions of devices and the data throughout the lifecycle. Furthermore, it enables you to act on devices insight by extending IoT intelligence into line of business applications. You can use IoT Central to create a custom cloud hosted IoT solutions for your organization. Azure Sphere. Azure Sphere are service and products from Microsoft that allows vendors of Internet of Things devices to increase security by combining a specific system on a chip, Azure Sphere OS, and Azure based cloud environment for continuous monitoring. Azure Sphere is a platform that enables developers to create secure internet based devices. The Azure Sphere model is comprised of a microcontroller, a Linux based OS, and a cloud based security service. The Azure Sphere is a secure, high level application platform with built in communications and security features for internet connected devices. It comprises a secured connected crossover microcontroller unit, custom high level Linux based operating system, and a cloud based security service that provides a continuous renewable security. The Azure Sphere microcontroller unit integrates real-time processing capabilities with ability to run a high-level operating system. An Azure Sphere microcontroller unit, along with its operating system and application platform, enables the creation of secured internet-connected devices that can be updated, controlled, monitored, and maintained remotely. The Azure Sphere Security Service is an integral aspect of Azure Sphere. Using this service, Azure Sphere microcontroller unit safely and securely connect to cloud and a web. The service ensures that device boots only within an authorized version of genuine approved software. In addition, it provides a secure channel through which Microsoft can automatically download and install OS updates to deploy devices in the field of mitigate security. Neither manufacturer nor end users intervention is required, thus closing a common security hole. Azure Synapse Analytics. The Azure Synapse Analytics is a limitless analytics service that brings together Azure Data Lake Storage, Azure SQL Data Warehouse, and Azure Analytics. It gives you a freedom to query data on your terms using either serverless or dedicated resources at scale. The Azure Synapse brings these worlds together with unified experience to ingest, explore, prepare, manage, and serve data for immediate BA and machine learning needs. The organizations that haven't taken advantage of data they are collecting are being left behind. Therefore, it is no surprise that so many companies are eager to jump on big data analytics train. Given the sheer enormity of big data and the certainty that it's only going to get bigger, businesses are looking to the cloud for big data needs. The cloud provides various benefits including scalability, flexibility, and cost savings that can help organizations of all sizes to take advantages of big data and address the challenges with the velocity, veracity, variety, and volume of data. A data lake is a central repository that can store structured or unstructured data without any kind of processing or modeling. The data stored can be in a raw form and you can take store everything approach with a data lake. On the other hand, data warehouse or central data repositories that integrate data from multiple sources such as databases, transactional systems, data lakes, and other sources. Azure Cloud Data Warehouse options include Azure SQL Data Warehouse. The enterprise analytics must work massive scale on any kind of data, whether it is structured or unstructured, semi-structured, whether raw, refined, or highly curated. This is required to stitch together big data and data warehousing technologies that work across data in relational stores and data lakes. Azure Husky Insight. Azure Husky Insight is a managed full spectrum open source analytics service in cloud for enterprises. You can use open source frameworks such as Hadoop, Apache Spark, Apache Hive, Apache Kafka, Apache Storm, R, and more. Azure Husky Insight is a cloud distribution of Hadoop components. Azure Husky Insight makes it easy, fast, and cost effective to process massive amount of data. You can use the most popular open source frameworks such as Hadoop, Spark, Hive, Kafka, Storm, R, and more. With these frameworks, you can enable a broad range of scenarios such as extract, transform, and load, which is called ETL, data warehousing, machine learning, and IoT. Azure Databricks. Before we go to Azure Databricks, we should understand what is the history of Databricks. Databricks was founded by original creators of Apache Spark. It was developed as a web-based platform for working with Apache Spark. Azure Databricks is a fast, easy, and collaborative Apache Spark-based analytical service. The Azure Databricks is an analytics platform based on Apache Spark. Azure Databricks is integrated with Azure to provide one-click setup, streamlined workflows, and an interactive workspace that enables collaboration between data engineers, data scientists, and machine learning engineers. For a big data pipeline, the data, either raw or structured, is ingested into Azure through Azure Data Factory in batches or streamed near real time using Apache Kafka, Event Hub, or IoT Hub. This data lands in a data lake for long term persistent storage in Azure Blob storage or Azure Data Lake storage. As part of your analytic workflows, you can use Azure Databricks to read data from multiple data sources such as Azure Blob Storage, Azure Data Lake Storage, Azure Cosmos DB, or Azure SQL Data Warehouse, and in turn, it breaks into insight using a Spark. Azure Machine Learning. Machine learning is a data science technique that allows computers to use existing data to forecast future behaviors, outcomes, and trends. By using machine learning, computers learn without being explicitly programmed. Forecast or predictions from machine learning can make apps and devices smarter. For example, when you shop online, machine learning helps recommendation from other products you might want based on what you bought. Or for example, when you swipe a credit card, the machine learning compares a transaction to database of transaction and helps detect fraud. Another example of machine learning is when you use robot for vacuum cleaner to clean your room, machine learning helps it decide whether the job is done. Azure Cognitive Services. Azure Cognitive Services are cloud-based services with REST APIs and client library SDKs that is available to help you to build cognitive intelligence into your application. Azure Cognitive Services comprises various artificial intelligence services that enables you to build cognitive solutions that can see, hear, speak, understand, and even make decisions. Azure Cognitive Services is an integral part of artificial intelligence services that helps in building effective and intelligent software applications. Azure Cognitive Services are pre-made APIs that are available to developers to help them build intelligent software application without having any direct machine learning or AI skill expertise. Azure Cognitive Services allow developers to easily use cognitive services in their application. In machine learning, developers has to bring together the training data sets and then test the validity of data set through suitable knowledge and of different models and concept of machine learning. But in Azure Cognitive Services, the task become easy as developer has to provide the data only, and the rest of like training and data and finding the best models is done by cognitive services that are provided. Azure Cognitive Services are categorized into five main pillars. They are vision APIs, speech APIs, language APIs, decision APIs, and search APIs. First, we'll look at vision APIs. Under vision APIs, we have few cognitive services such as computer vision, custom vision service, face, and video indexer. For computer vision, the computer vision service provides you with access to advanced cognitive services, algorithms, and for processing images and written informations. Custom vision service. The custom vision service lets you build, deploy, and improve your image classifiers. An image classifier is an AI service that applies labels to images based on the visual characteristics. Face. A face service provides access to advanced face algorithms, enabling face attribute detections and recognitions. Video indexer. Video indexer enables you to extract insight from your video. In speech APIs, we have speech service. The speech service add speech enabled feature to application. Speech service includes various capabilities like speech to text, text to speech, speech translations, and many more. In language APIs, we have Q&A marker, text analytics translator, and immersive reader. Q&A marker. Q&A marker allows you to build a question and answer service from your semi-structured content. Text analytics. Text analytics provides natural language processing over raw text for sentiment analysis, key phrase extraction, and language detection. Translator. Translator provides machine-based text translation in near real time. Immersive reader. Immersive reader adds screen reading and comprehension capabilities to your applications. In decision APIs, we have anomaly detector, content moderator, metric advisors, personalizer. Anomaly detector. Anomaly detector allows you to monitor and detect abnormalities in your time series data. Content moderator. The content moderator provides monitoring for possible offensive, undesirable, and risky content. Metrics advisor, which is under preview state. Metric advisor provides customizable anomaly detections on multiple variant time series data and a fully featured web portal to help you use their services. Personalizer. Personalizer allows you to choose the best experience to show you users learning from the real-time behaviors. Under search APIs, we have Bing News Search, Bing Video Search, Bing Web Search, Bing Custom Search, Bing Image Search, Bing Visual Search, and Bing Spell Check. Bing News Search. Bing News Search returns a list of news articles determined to be relevant to user query. Bing Video Search. Bing Video Search returns to a list of videos determined to be relevant to user query. Bing Web Search. Bing Web Search returns a list of search results determined to be relevant to user query. Bing Custom Search. Bing Custom Search allows you to create tailored search experience for topics that you care about. Bing Image Search. Bing Image Search returns a display of images determined to be relevant to user query. Bing Visual Search. Bing Visual Search provides written insight about images such as visually similar images, shopping sources for products found in image, and related searches. Bing Spell Check. Bing Spell Check allows you to perform contextual grammar and spell checking. Azure Bot Services. Azure Bot Services is Microsoft artificial intelligence chatbot offered as a service on Azure Cloud Service Marketplace. Azure Bot Services develop intelligent, enterprise-grade bots that help you enrich the customer experience while maintaining control of your data. You can build any type of bot from Q&A bot to your own branded virtual assistant to quickly correct your users to answers they need. You can integrate Azure Bot Services with powerful artificial intelligence capabilities with Azure Cognitive Services to keep pace with technological advances without machine learning experience. You can improve experiences by giving your users the ability to interact with your bot using natural language and speech capabilities. You can also integrate bot services across multiple communication channels to reach more customers more often. You can apply bots to channels including your website or apps, Microsoft Teams, Skype, Slack, Cortana, and Facebook Messenger. Azure Serverless Computing. The Azure Serverless Computing Service allows developers to focus on developing and building their applications rather than managing and maintaining infrastructure. The Azure Serverless Computing is the way you build and run your application and services without having to manage your infrastructure. Your application still run on the servers, but all the server management is done by Azure. You no longer need to provision, scale, and maintain your servers to run your applications, databases, and storage systems. By using serverless computing, your developers can focus on core products instead of worrying about managing and operating servers or runtimes either in cloud or on premises. This reduces management overhead and lets you reclaim time and energy that can be spent on developing your products with scale that are under reliable. Some of the Azure serverless computing examples are Azure Functions, Azure Logic Apps, and Azure Event Grid. Azure Serverless Computing provides following benefits. It is a fully managed service. Azure Serverless Computing provides scalability and flexibility of applications, pay-as-you-go pricing models, enhanced developer productivity, seamless connections, and allows developers to develop intelligent apps. Fully managed service. It allows to escape from the burden of server maintenance, avoid administrative tasks, and focus on basic logics. With serverless architectures, you simply deploy your code and it runs with high availability. Azure Serverless Computing provides scalability and flexibility of applications. The serverless compute handles tens of thousands of concurrent functions almost instantly within seconds to match any workaround and without requiring scale configurations. It reacts to events and triggers in real time. It provides pay-as-you-go pricing. With serverless architecture, you only pay for the time your code is running. Serverless computing is event-driven and resources are allocated as soon as they are triggered by the event. You are only charged for the time and resources it takes to execute your code. Azure Serverless Computing enhances developer productivity. It leverages features such as local debugging in Visual Studio, visual debug history, deployment slots, and more. To help developers maximize efficiency, Microsoft Serverless Platform goes to a step beyond abstracting server infrastructure to provide prolific features. Azure Serverless Computing also provides you seamless connections. It allows you to have fabricate modern apps by stitching together valuable and complementary functions from various sources, easily interacts with a range of Azure functions, external services, and logic apps to exploit more than 100 connections to Microsoft and third-party services. Finally, Azure Serverless Computing provides the developers with developer intelligent apps. It allows you to integrate intelligence to your apps with ease. With Azure built-in intelligence is with the reach of all app developers. Enable your serverless code or logic to use machine learning and cognitive services. Azure Functions. The Azure Functions is a serverless solutions that allows you to run a less code, maintain less infrastructure, and save cost. Instead of worrying about deploying and managing your servers, the cloud infrastructure manages and maintains the server for you and provides all the updated resources for keeping your application up and running. We often build systems to react to a series of web critical events, whether you are building a web API, responding to database changes, processing IoT data streams, or even managing messaging queues. Every application needs a way to run some code as this event occurs. To meet this need, Azure Function provides compute on demand in two significant ways. First, Azure Function allows you to implement your system logic into readily available block of codes. These code blocks are called functions. Different functions can run anytime you need to respond to critical events. Second, as requests increase, Azure Function meets the demand with as many resources and function instances as necessary, but only while needed. As request falls, any extra resources and applications instances top off automatically. The following are a common set of scenarios for Azure Functions. With Azure Functions, you can build a web API. You can implement endpoint to your web application using HTTP trigger. Process file loads. You can run code when a file is uploaded or changed in blob storage. You can also build a serverless workflow using Azure Functions. The chain of series of Azure functions together using durable functions. You can respond to database changes. You can run a custom logics when document is created or updated in Cosmos DB. With Azure function, you can also run a settle task. A settle task can execute code at set times. Create reliable message queue systems. You can process messages queues using queue storage, service bus, or even hubs. Analyze IoT data streams. You can collect and process data from IoT devices, process data in real time. Finally, you can use Azure function to process data in real time. You can use Azure function to signal or to respond to data in moment. Azure Logic Apps. Azure Logic Apps is a cloud service that helps you to schedule, automate, and orchestrate tasks, business process, and workflows when you need to integrate apps, data, systems, and services across enterprises or organizations. Logic Apps simplifies how you design and build scalable solutions for app integrations, data integrations, system integrations, enterprise application integrations, and business to business communication, whether in cloud or on premises or both. For example, here are just few workloads you can automate with Azure Logic Apps. You can process and route orders across on-premise systems and cloud services. With Azure Logic Apps, you can send email notification with Office 365 when events happen in various systems, apps, and services. You can also move uploaded files from SFTP to FTP server to Azure Storage. Using Azure Logic Apps, you can monitor tweets for a specific subject, analyze the sentiments, and create alerts or tasks for items that need review. Azure DevOps. Azure DevOps provides developers service for support teams to plan work, collaborate on code development, and build and deploy applications. Azure DevOps supports a culture and setup process that brings developers and project managers and contributors together to complete software development. It allows organizations to create and improve products at a faster pace than they can with traditional software development approaches. You can use one or more of the following Azure DevOps services based on your business needs. We have different services used in Azure DevOps. They are Azure Boards, Azure Repos, Azure Pipelines, Azure Test Plans, and Azure Artifacts. Azure Boards delivers a suite of agile tools to support planning and tracking work, code defects, and issue using Kanban and Scrum methods. Azure Repos. Azure Repos provides Git repository or team foundation version control for source control of your code. Azure Pipeline. Azure Pipeline provides builds and release services to support continuous integration and delivery of your application. Azure Test Plans. Test Plans provides several tools to test your apps, including manual or explanatory testings and continuous testing. Azure Artifacts. Azure Artifacts allows teams to share packages such as Maven, NPM, Nugget, and more from public and private sources and integrate package sharing into your pipelines. Azure GitHub. The Azure GitHub is a version control system. Keep this revision straight, storing modification in the central repository. This allows developers to easily collaborate as they can download a new version of software, make changes, and upload the newest revision. To understand GitHub, you must first have an understanding of Git. Git is an open source version control system that was started by Linus Torvalds, the same person who created Linux. Git is similar to other version control system. So Git is a version control system, but what does that mean? When developers create something, an app, for example, they make constant changes to the code, releasing new version up to date, and after the first official non-beta releases, version control system keeps this revision straight, storing these changes and storing this modification in a central repository. This allows developers to easily collaborate as they can download a new version of a software and make changes and upload the newest revisions. Every developer can see these new changes, download them, and contribute. Similarly, people who have nothing to do with development of projects can still download the files and use them. Most of Linux users should be familiar with the process, as using Git subversion or some other similar method is pretty common for downloading needed files, especially in preparation for compiling a program from a source code. Git is the preferred version control system of most developers since it has multiple advantages over other systems available. It stores file changes more efficiently, ensures file integrity better. So what makes GitHub so special? Git is a command line tools, but the center around which all things involving Git revolve is Hub. GitHub.com, where developers store the projects. Azure GitHub has few advantages, and a reason for which developers go choosing GitHub is that uh, Azure GitHub provides repository, forking a repo, pull request, social networking, and change logs. Repository. The repository, usually abbreviated as repo, is located where all the files for particular projects are stored. Each project has its own repo, and you can access it with unique URL. Forking a repo. Forking is when you create a new project based of another projects that already exist. This is amazing features that vastly encourages the future development of programs and other projects. If you find a project on GitHub that you like to contribute, you can fork the repo, make the changes you like, and release the revised projects as new repo. If the original repository that you forked to create to your new projects gets updated, you can easily add those updated to your current fork. Pull request. You have forked a repository, made a great revision to your projects, want it to be recognized by original developers, maybe even included in the official project repository. You can do this by creating a pull request. Author of the original repository can see your work and choose whether or not to accept in the official projects. Whenever you issue a pull request, GitHub provides a perfect medium for you and main project maintainers to communicate. Social networking. The social networking aspect of GitHub is the most powerful feature, allowing projects to grow more than just about any other features offered. Each user on GitHub has their own profile that acts like a resume of sorts, showing your past works and contributors to other projects through pull request. Change logs. When multiple people collaborate on a project, it is hard to keep track revision who changed what, when and where those files are stored. GitHub takes care of the problems by keeping track of all changes that have been pushed to repository. Azure GitHub Actions. GitHub Actions helps you to automate your software development workflows from within GitHub. You can deploy workflows in the same place where you store code and collaborate on pull requests and issues. In GitHub Actions, a workflow is an automated process that you set up in your GitHub repository. You can build, test, package, release, or deploy any projects on GitHub with a workflow. Each workflow is made up of individual actions that run a specific event like pull request occur. The individual actions are packaged script that automate software development tasks. With GitHub Actions for Azure, you can create workflows that you can set up in your repository to build, test, package, release, and deploy to Azure. GitHub Actions for Azure supports Azure services including Azure App Services, Azure Functions, and Azure Key Vault. GitHub Actions also include support for utilities including Azure Resource Manager templates, Azure CLI, and Azure Policy. Azure Dev Test Labs. Azure Dev Test Labs enables developers on teams to visually self-manage virtual machines and pass resources without waiting for approvals. Dev Test Labs creates labs consisting of pre-configured bases or Azure Resource Manager templates. These are all necessary tools and softwares that you can use to create environments. You can create this environment in a few minutes as opposed to hours or days. By using Azure DevTest Labs, you can test a latest version of your application by doing the following task. You can quickly provision Windows and Linux environment by using reusable templates and artifacts. You can also easily integrate your deployment pipeline with DevTest Labs to provision on-demand environment. You can scale up your load testing by provisioning multiple test agents and create pre-provisioned environment for training and demos. With Azure DevTest Labs, you can also provide with the following capabilities to developers working with VMs. You can create VM quickly by following fewer than 5 simple steps. Choose from a curated list of VM bays that are configured, approved, and authorized by team lead or central IT team. You can also create VMs for pre-created custom images that have all the softwares and tools already installed. You can set auto shutdown and auto start schedules on VMs. With Azure DevTest Labs, you can provide the following capabilities to developers working with PaaS environment. You can use Resource Manager to quickly create PaaS environment by following the fewer than 3 simple steps. You can also spin up an empty resource group by using Resource Manager template to explore Azure within the context of a lab. Domain 3. Azure Core Solutions and Management Tools. Under Azure Management Tools, we will cover Azure Portal, Azure PowerShell, Azure CLI, Azure Mobile App, Azure Cloud Shell, ARM templates, Azure Advisor, Azure Monitor, and finally we will cover Azure Service Health. Azure Portal. The Azure Portal is a web-based unified console that provides an alternative to command line tools. With Azure Portal, you can manage your Azure subscriptions using graphical user interface. You can build, deploy, manage, and monitor everything from a single web app to complex cloud deployments. With Azure Portal, you can create a custom dashboard for honest view of resources. You can also configure accessibility options for optimal experience. The Azure portal is designed for resiliency and continuous availability. It has a presence in every Azure data center. This configuration makes Azure portal resilient to individual data centers failures and avoids network slowdowns by being close to users. The Azure portal updates continuously and requires no downtime for maintenance activities. Azure PowerShell. Microsoft released the Azure PowerShell model for interaction with Azure. It works with PowerShell 5.1 on Windows and PowerShell 6.x and higher on all platforms and is also available in Azure Cloud Shell. Azure PowerShell is designed for managing and administering Azure resources from command line. Administrators can use commandlets to perform complex tasks like provisioning virtual machines or managing other hosted services. Use Azure PowerShell when you want to build automated tools that you use Azure Resource Manager model. Azure PowerShell requires connecting machines to be running PowerShell versions to check run command $ps version table. Next step installs require Azure PowerShell models from the PowerShell gallery. Launch PowerShell as administrator and run command install model Azure RM. After a few moments, run Azure RM models will download and install on your machines. To connect to Azure account, type ps command. Connect hyphen Azure RM account. Now Microsoft Azure portal will be connected by entering your login credentials. Azure Command Line Interface, which is also called as CLI. Azure CLI is a command line tool providing a management experience for Azure resources. You can install Azure CLI on any OS platform such as Windows, Linux, or Mac OS. Using Azure CLI, you can create a new resources, query an existing resources, updating existing resources, and deleting existing resources. To find CLI version type the command AZ-version. This command will show the current version of the tool and other modules that are available to be used by the CLI tool. To log into your Azure portal, type the command AZ-login in your CLI. With the Azure CLI, you can find your subscriptions, resources, and resource groups. Azure Cloud Shell. Azure Cloud Shell is an interactive, authenticated, browser accessible shell for managing Azure resources. It provides the flexibility of choosing the shell experience that best suits the way you work, either Bash or PowerShell. You can access Azure Cloud Shell in three different ways, either through direct link, Azure portal, or code snippets. If you're using direct link, type the link as https://shell.azure.com. You can also access Azure Cloud Shell using Azure portal and code snippets. If using code snippets on docs.microsoft.com and Microsoft Learn, select the Try It button that appears with Azure CLI and Azure PowerShell code snippets will open. Azure Mobile App. Microsoft Azure Services provides mobile app service to build mobile application in its cloud-based platform as a service. The mobile app features of Azure gives enterprise developers and system integrators a mobile application development platform that is highly scalable and globally available. With Azure Mobile App Services, you can build native and cross-platform applications, whether you are building native iOS, Android, and Windows apps or cross-platform apps. You can take advantage of app service by using native SDKs. With Azure App Services, you can connect enterprise systems with mobile apps features. You can add corporate sign-ins within minutes and connect to your enterprise on-premises or cloud resources. You can also build offline-ready apps with data syncs, making your mobile workforce more productivity by building apps that work offline and use mobile apps to sync data in the background when connectivity is present with any of your enterprise data source or software as a service. With using Azure mobile app, you can push notification to millions in seconds. You can engage your customers with instant push notifications or any device personalized to their needs and send the time when the time is right. Azure Advisor. The Azure Advisor is a personalized cloud consultant that helps you to follow best practices to optimize your Azure deployment. It analyzes your resources, configurations, and uses telemetry and recommends solutions that can help you improve the cost, effectiveness, performance, reliability, and security of your Azure resources. With Azure Advisor, you can get proactive, actionable, and personalized best practices and recommendations. And also, you can improve performance, security, and reliability of your resources as you identify opportunities to reduce your overall Azure spend. You can get recommendation with proposed action in line. Reliability, formerly called as high availabilities. It allows you to ensure and improve continuity of your business critical applications. Security, it allows you to detect threats and vulnerabilities that might lead to security breaches. Performance, it improves your speed of your applications. Cost, it helps to optimize and reduce your overall Azure spending. Operational excellence, it helps you to achieve process and workflow efficiency and resource manageability and deployment best practices. Select a recommendation action for recommendation to implement the recommendations. Simple interface will open and enables you to implement the recommendations or refer you to documentation that assists with you to implementations. Once you implement the recommendations, it can take up to a day for advisor to recognize that. If you do not intend to take immediate action on the recommendations, you can postpone it for a specific time period or dismiss it. If you don't want to receive recommendations for a specific subscriptions or resource groups, you can configure advisor to only generate recommendations for specific subscriptions and resource groups. Azure Resource Manager template, which is also called as ARM template. With the move to cloud, many teams have adapted agile development methods. They need to repeatedly deploy the solutions to the cloud and know their infrastructure is reliable state. As infrastructure has become part of the iterative process, the division between the operations and development has disappeared. The teams need to manage infrastructure and application code through a unified process. To meet these challenges, you can automate deployments and use practice of infrastructure as a code. In code, you define the infrastructure that needs to be deployed. The infrastructure code becomes part of your project. Just like application code, you can store the infrastructure code in your resource repository and version it. Any one of your team members can run the code and deploy similar environment. To implement infrastructure as a code, your Azure solutions uses Azure Resource Manager template, which is also called as ARM template. The ARM template is a template which is created using JSON file, JavaScript object notation file that defines the infrastructure and configuration for a project. The template uses declarative syntax, which lets you state what you intend to deploy without having to write the sequence of programming commands to create it. In the template, you specify resources to deploy and properties for those resources. We have introduced a new language for developing ARM templates. The language is named Bicep and is currently in preview. Bicep and JSON templates offers the same capabilities. You can convert template between the two languages. Bicep provides a syntax that is easier to use for creating template. ARM templates are customizable and can be built using Azure Portal, Visual Studio, or Visual Studio Code. Benefits of ARM templates. The following are the benefits of using ARM templates. Declarative syntax. ARM templates allows you to create and deploy an entire Azure infrastructure declaratively. For example, you can deploy not only virtual machines but also network infrastructures, storage systems, and any other resources you need. Repeatable results. Repeatedly deploy your infrastructure throughout the deployment lifecycle and have confidence of your resources are deployed in consistent manner. You can deploy the same template many times and get the same resource types in the same state. You can develop one template that represents the desired state rather than developing a lot of separate templates to represent updates. Orchestrations. You don't have to worry about the complexity of ordering operations. Resource Manager orchestrates the deployment of interdependent resources so they are created in a correct order. Model files. You can break your template into smaller reusable components and link them together at deployment time. And also you can nest one template inside another template. Create any Azure resources. You can immediately use Azure service and features in template as soon as the resource provider introduces new resources. You can deploy those resources through templates. You don't have to wait for tools or models to be updated before using the new services. Extensibility. With deployment scripts, you can add PowerShell or Bash scripts to your templates. The deployment scripts extends your ability to set up your resources during deployment. Testing. You can make sure your template follows recommended guidelines by testing it with ARM Template Toolkit. This test kit is a PowerShell script that you can download from GitHub. The toolkit makes it easier for you to develop the expertise using template language. Preview changes. You can use the what if operations to get a preview of changes before deploying the template. With what if, you can see which resource will be created, updated, or deleted, and any resource properties that will be changed. The what if operation checks the current state of the environment and eliminates the need to manage the state. Built-in validations. Your template is deployed only after passing validation. Resource manager checks the template before starting the deployment to make sure the deployment will succeed. Your deployment is less likely to stop in half-finished state. Track deployments. In Azure portal, you can review the deployment history and get information about the template deployment. You can see the template that was deployed, the parameter values passed in, and any output values. Other infrastructure as a code service aren't tracked through the portal. Policy as code. Azure Policy is a policy as code framework to automate governance. For using Azure policies, policy remediation is done on non-compliant resources when deployment through templates. Deployment blueprints. You can take advantage of blueprints provided by Microsoft to meet regulatory and compliance standards. These blueprints include pre-built template for various architecture. CI/CD integrations. You can integrate template into your continuous integrations and continuous deployment tools, which can automate your release pipelines for fast and reliable applications and infrastructure updates. By using Azure DevOps and Resource Manager template tasks, you can use Azure pipelines to continuously build and deploy ARM templates projects. Exportable code. You can get template for existing resource group by either exporting the current state of resource group or viewing the template used for particular deployment. Authoring tools. You can use author templates with Visual Studio Code and template tool extension. Azure Monitor. Azure Monitor helps you to maximize the availability and performance of your application and services. It delivers comprehensive solutions for collecting, analyzing, and acting on telemetry from your cloud and on-premises environment. This information helps you to understand how your applications are performing and proactively identifying issues affecting them and resource they depend on. With Azure Monitor, you can detect and diagnose issues across applications and dependencies with application insight. You can correlate infrastructure issues and VM insights and container insights. You can drill into your monitoring data with log analytics and troubleshoot with deep diagnostics. You can also support operation and scale with smart alerts and automated actions. You can create visualization with Azure dashboards and workbooks. With Azure Monitor, you can collect data and monitor resource using Azure Monitor metrics. Azure monitors can be used with Azure Service Health. Azure Service Health. Azure Service Health is a suite of experience that provides personalized guidance and support when there is an issue with Azure services that affects you. We can notify you, help you understand the impact of issues, and keep you updated the issue is resolved. The Azure Service Health can also help you to prepare for planned maintenance and changes that could affect the availability of your resources. Azure Service Health is a combination of three below separate services: Azure Status, Service Health, and Resource Health. Azure Status. The Azure Status informs you of service outage in Azure on the Azure Status page. The page is global view of the health of all Azure service across all Azure regions. The status page is good for reference for incidents with widespread impact, but we strongly recommend that current Azure users leverage Azure Service Health to stay informed about Azure incidents and maintenance. Next is Service Health. The Service Health provides a personalized view of the health of Azure services and regions you are using. This is the place where you can look for service impacting communication about outages, plant maintenance activities, and other health advisories because the authenticated service health experience knows which service and resource you currently use. The best way to use service health is to set up service health alerts to notify you through your preferred communication channels when service issues, plant maintenance, or other changes may affect the Azure services or regions you use. Finally, we have resource health. Resource health provides information about the health of your individual cloud resources such as specific virtual machine instances. Using Azure Monitor, you can also configure alerts to notify you of availability changes to your cloud resources. Resource health along with Azure Monitor notifications will help you to stay better informed about availability of your resources minute by minute and quickly assess whether an issue is due to problem on your site or related to Azure platform event.